One of the most influential women in technology and media is now preaching the ultimate key to success is sleep. Arianna Huffington, co-founder of the Huffington Post, has launched a new venture called Thrive Global. It aims to revolutionize the way we work and live by ending the burnout epidemic. Arianna Huffington joins us now from New York. Great to have you back on Bloomberg, Arianna. So Thrive Global involves everything from corporate partnerships to video content to an e-commerce platform. What is your vision here and what does success look like?
So my vision, as you said, is to disrupt the way we work and live because, Emily, it's not working. We are seeing companies wasting hundreds of billions of dollars in healthcare costs, in lost productivity, in high turnover. And there is a solution, which is to prioritize the well-being of employees and to recognize that well-being and productivity are completely aligned, that when we are exhausted and running on empty, we are actually undermining our productivity and costing businesses and individuals a lot, both financially and in every other way. So Thrive Global has three parts. We go into corporations and help them change the culture. We're working with Accenture, JP Morgan, Uber, SAP, and also we have a consumer, a media platform that becomes the hub for this conversation, where we have great content, both from our own reporters and from business leaders like Jeff Bezos, Howard Schultz, Danny Meyer, writing about how they thrive. And finally, there is the commerce side, both a pop-up store and an e-commerce site on thriveglobal.com.
I'm curious about this e-commerce platform. You've got items like a phone bed. I'm curious, why would someone buy this? And this would allow you to charge your phone outside your bedroom for $100. And how will you make money with this new venture?
So everything is curated to help people reduce stress and improve health and productivity in their lives. So all the latest science shows unequivocally that sleeping with our phone in our bed or by our bed makes it very hard to get a recharging night's sleep. So this is really a charging station with 10 ports. You can charge 10 devices there. But because it looks like a bed, and because human beings learn through ritual, it is easier to recognize that the way that your bed is for you, the phone bed charging station is for your phone. And you need to separate at night so that you can both fully charge and reconnect in the morning. And it's also a great educational tool for children, because I know you're about to go on maternity leave, but when your child gets a phone, trust me, that's the time to teach them to charge it in the phone bed charging station and not on their nightstand, because by the time they become teenagers, it's a real battle. And now we see an epidemic among teens and millennials of mental health diseases, depression, anxiety, very connected to exhaustion and sleep deprivation, because they stay up all night and tweet or text or snap on their phones.
Uber is one of your Thrive Global partners. You are on the board there, and I'm curious how you see your role on that board and what sort of tough questions you're asking. Is there a sort of pet project you're taking on? Where do you want your influence to be, and is it on this issue?
Well, yes, we are working with Uber's leadership, starting with Travis, who did a great video interview that's on our site about his own recognition that when he started taking better care of himself in terms of sleep and recharging, his decisions improved. And that's really the same point that Jeff Bezos makes when he said in a piece he wrote for Thrive Global that he's getting 8 hours sleep a night is good for Amazon shareholders. So in terms of Uber, we are taking Uber's cultural values, one of which is do not cross your red line, and working with employees to create micro steps, easy behavior changes that help them recognize when they're getting close to that red line of accumulated stress. You know, stress is an inevitable part of life. The question is, how can you prevent it from becoming cumulative and having terrible unintended consequences, which we see all around us, with people paying a price in terms of high blood pressure, diabetes, some of them start smoking again. All these things are preventable if we go upstream, which is what Thrive Global does, and start working with the sources of stress before they become symptoms.
You were not shy about your dislike for Donald Trump. The Huffington Post put Trump news in the entertainment section. Now that this is the reality, you've said that the media should cover what Trump does, not what he says. The problem is he keeps saying and tweeting very inflammatory and controversial things, and I wonder, how should the media cover President-elect Trump, given that the media is so often being criticized by Trump himself?
What I said is that the media should cover what he does and says now, as opposed to what he said during the campaign. You know, the campaign is over. And now, no matter how much anyone opposed Donald Trump, and few opposed him as much as the Huffington Post, he is the president. It's in the interest of the nation for him to succeed, for him to be better than anyone thought he would be during the campaign. And that's why he's reaching out to Silicon Valley. Tech leaders going to the meeting is important, because he needs to hear from voices with which he disagrees. We saw that when he heard from someone he respected that waterboarding doesn't actually work, he changed his mind on waterboarding, apparently. And for a minute at least, after he met with President Obama, he was sounding a very different tune when it came to Obamacare. So it seems that he is easily influenced by whoever he's listening to, and therefore it's important that he's surrounded by people whose views are going to be influential, both in terms of how he runs the economy and in terms of foreign policy.
Now, the Pope came out today lambasting the media for focusing on scandals, for promoting fake news, and said the spread of misinformation is probably the greatest damage that the media can do. I'm so curious, do you think that Facebook and Twitter should do more to police fake or inaccurate news?
Yes, I think everybody should. I think we have a tremendous responsibility, all of us in the media, to challenge the spread of misinformation, whether it comes from President Trump tweeting, President-elect Trump, tweeting that millions of people voted illegally, or whether it comes from fake news that's promoted to the top by the algorithms that are doing that. I think that there is nothing more important than to recognize that we all have the right to our own opinions, but we do not have the right to our own set of facts. There is such a thing as truth. There is such a thing as facts. And we need to be absolute in trying to defend the truth and the facts.
So on that note, when it comes to a company like Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg has said we're a technology company, we're not a media company. Do you think Facebook in particular should accept greater responsibility here, should consider itself a media company and take action to that effect?
But Mark Zuckerberg did say that they are going to do more than they have been doing. He already said that. It's not a question of whether you're a media company or a technology company. Everyone needs to do more, because that's really at the foundation of a healthy nation.
You're being succeeded now by New York Times editor Lydia Paul-Green. I'm curious what you would like to see her pursue. Would you like to see, or do you think the Huffington Post needs to cover more news between coasts, more news that, you know, perhaps we wouldn't be so surprised by an election of Donald Trump if we understood better how people in the middle of the country were feeling?
Well, first of all, I'm absolutely delighted that Lydia is my successor at the Huffington Post. She's brilliant, she's fearless, and she's kind. It's a fantastic combination. The newsroom is so excited to have her, and I'm so excited to see what she's going to do. One of the things that's really important about Lydia is that she has incredible global knowledge. She's been a journalist around the world, and the Huffington Post is a global company. 50% of HuffPost traffic comes from outside the United States. It's already in 17 countries, most recently South Africa. So it's fantastic to have an editor-in-chief who has tremendous knowledge about how to operate a global media company, especially at a time when there is so much happening around the world, whether it is in Italy today or in South Korea or in the UK with the announcement of the timing around Brexit. This is such a tumultuous time, and having somebody at the helm of the media of the Huffington Post who really knows how to navigate these waters is really a blessing.
Now, hearings about the AT&T Time Warner merger happening today in Washington. AT&T, obviously a competitor, the parent company of the Huffington Post, Verizon. I'm curious, what are your feelings about big phone companies owning media companies?
Well, as long as they don't interfere with editorial, not a problem. Verizon never interfered with the Huffington Post while I was there, and that's what matters. Phone companies can own media companies as long as they leave them alone.
Last time we spoke, the Verizon-Yahoo deal announcement was fresh. It has been postponed. Yahoo now the target of a massive data breach. AOL CEO Tim Armstrong said he's still cautiously optimistic the deal will go through. You told me at the time you thought that Verizon and Yahoo made a very good fit. Do you still believe that?
Well, there are tremendous synergies. And I think with Lydia as editor-in-chief of the Huffington Post, she could have a great role to play when it comes to the news part of Yahoo. But, you know, this is still in the future. You know, we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I saw Tim at the Ignition conference on Monday in New York, and he is optimistic, but it's obviously for 2017.
Any thoughts on what Marissa Mayer should do?
Well, first of all, she should get more sleep and rest and recharge. And enjoy her beautiful family. She has, I'm sure, a great future ahead.